Canelo comes out and does what Canelo should do, Canelo wins the fight. If Canelo comes out and does what he shouldn't do, Crawford wins the fight.
But with Crawford, what are Crawford's keys to victory when you are fighting someone like Canelo, who, albeit maybe not in height, but in stature, is a much bigger man than him?
Control the center of the ring.
What do you think about Terence Crawford calling out Canelo?
You know, I don't like that fight.
I say Terence win. Yes.
What? Terence win over Canelo?
Yes, Terence win.
The boxing world is alive with predictions as Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford have officially signed for a blockbuster fight. Legends and analysts have weighed in, and opinions are sharply divided. Some feel Crawford's technical ability gives him a genuine shot, while others argue Canelo's size and power will simply be too much. Mike Tyson disapproves of this matchup entirely, pointing to Crawford's struggles against Madoff due to size and awkwardness, suggesting stepping up to 168 pounds against Alvarez is a very unwise decision.
What do you think about Terence Crawford calling out Canelo?
You know, I don't like that fight.
Why not?
I don't like that fight. It's just too much weight, you know. And he had a close fight with the last guy he fought, Terence, because this guy was big and he was awkward. He was really awkward. He shouldn't have fought that guy. Right. Should have fought a guy that would just come straight at him. The guy was too awkward.
He's herky-jerky.
David Benovitz offers a fascinating perspective on this contest, genuinely believing Terence Crawford holds a real chance of coming out on top. In fact, Benovitz wouldn't be shocked at all if Crawford pulled off the upset, pointing to his exceptional skills, winning mentality, and relentless work ethic as the key reasons he could dethrone Canelo.
Looks like it's going to come to fruition in September. What are your thoughts on that bout?
I have nothing to say. It's a good fight, and it's a good fight. I wish both of them the best.
All right, next question. Do you use that for motivation at all? Like Canelo's, like, you know?
I definitely do use that as motivation because if I was such an easy fighter and target, he would have came and beat me already. Just for him not fighting me lets me know how dangerous I am.
How would you approach a fight?
Is there scissors? Is there scissors? Ask for scissors. Go ahead.
How would you approach a fight with Terence Crawford if it was you against Crawford?
To be honest with you, if I fought Terence Crawford, I would definitely use my size, my reach, my weight to my advantage. Crawford is a very smart fighter, but I guess thankfully I'm not fighting him.
At the same time, however, Benovitz admits he personally does not want this fight to happen. He acknowledges that Canelo is the biggest money fight in boxing, and everyone wants a piece of him. But Crawford jumping that far up in weight is something he simply cannot get behind. For Benovitz, Crawford throwing his name into the Canelo conversation at 168 is a move he disagrees with.
Crawford throwing his hat in to want to fight Canelo at 168.
I mean, everybody wants to fight Canelo. It's the money fight. You know what I mean? I think even Inoue would come up to fight Canelo. Canelo wanted to fight him. I mean, I don't want to see Crawford to fight Canelo, to be honest with you. But it would be. I'm not saying it wouldn't be a great fight. It would be a great fight. But I feel like if I deserve my opportunity, and and after this fight, what else are they gonna say? You know what I mean? This is a tough fight. You know, the top WBC, the top people ranked at the WBC are fighting each other. So I mean, it should be an easy call. If I can't get those fights, then I'll go up to fight Bivol, or I'll go try to I set my conquest on 175. Like I said, I don't want no handouts either. I want to earn my spots everywhere I go, even at 175. But I see that weight class. I want to become champion at 175, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Alexander Usyk, a master technician himself, views this as a classic battle of size versus skill. He recognizes that Canelo is a naturally bigger man, and that will play a role. But Usyk has put his trust firmly in skill over size. He feels Crawford's sharper and more technically refined boxing will give him the upper hand. In Usyk's view, skill wins fights and Crawford is simply the better boxer.
A potential fight between Canelo and Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
How do you see that fight? Who
I
do you
like Terence. It's
wow.
My friend, but it's crazy man. Listen, I say Terence win. Yes.
What? Terence win over Canelo.
Yes, Terence win. But listen, Terence, it's different man. Terence work in две стойка.
Two sides.
Two sides.
Right.
And
right.
switch hitter.
Yes.
He's a
Yes.
switch hitter.
Yes.
Right and left. But it's very smart man. It's very, very, very smart, but feel distance and place like
Adjustments,
spacing,
exactly.
boxing.
You don't think the weight difference will be a factor too much?
Mario, you're asking him?
That's why I'm asking, exactly.
But, Canelo big, Canelo too. It's a good boxer, but I say Terence.
Wow.
Roy Jones Jr. is another legend who sees two very different possible outcomes here. If Canelo arrives in peak condition and performs the way he is capable of, Jones believes Canelo takes the fight. However, if Canelo shows up anything less than his best, Crawford will capitalize and claim victory. For Jones Jr., everything hinges entirely on which version of Canelo steps through those ropes that night.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. Give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight, or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What he got to prove to Boots? Boots trying to take over and start beating the guys around him, prove that he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy. Why would he? Bud looking to try to make history and get out. Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who? Canelo. He willing to take that gamble, see if he can beat him. If he beats him, he may go fight Benavidez next. If he don't beat him, he say, okay, I took it as high as I could go. I'm done.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if he gets the win. Like, oh my God.
Sean Porter, who has shared a ring with Crawford, carries real concerns about this matchup. He recognizes Crawford as a tough and resilient competitor, but questions whether he can absorb Canelo's power at this weight. Porter knows firsthand how physically strong Crawford is, but facing a man who has knocked out bigger fighters is a completely different challenge. Crawford's defense is elite, but taking clean shots from Canelo could present a serious problem.
The others say like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he's still got that kind of steam. But, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo have, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another, you know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out, you know what I mean? So
Amir Khan, who has personally felt Canelo's power inside the ring, is flat out telling Terence Crawford to avoid this fight. Khan understands better than most what those punches feel like, and genuinely does not believe Crawford should take that risk. In his opinion, jumping all the way up to 168 pounds is far too steep a climb for Crawford, and things could end very badly for him.
I don't think that should happen. Look, I like Crawford, and I think Canelo is a beast that way. Honestly, I would advise Crawford not to do that.
Canelo versus Jamel Charlo playing out.
I think Canelo just outboxes. Well, no, doesn't outbox him, but I think just outpowers him and beats him to the punch. And you do give Canelo does have some sort of decent speed as well. So I think Canelo just wins that fight easy.
Would it be a knockout?
Could be, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Former champion Caleb Plant believes Crawford is a strong fighter with a unique style that makes him a threat in any matchup. He accepts that the weight difference is a real factor, but also highlights Crawford's proven ability to adapt. Plant feels that Crawford's boxing IQ and fight strategy could make this far more competitive than the majority of people are currently expecting.
Terence is not a regular guy. You know what I'm saying? He's special. And, Canelo, he's a top-notch fighter, world-class fighter. Still on the pound-for-pound list, I'm sure towards somewhere near the top. And it's exciting. Terence is freakishly strong. He can punch. He's got good crack. He can fight from both ways. Orthodox, southpaw. He can fight at mid-range, closer range, outside. And he can fight going both ways. So it's exciting. It's exciting. It's a big question mark on the end of it, though. So that's why, I'm sure all of us are excited for that bell to ring and, be able to find out firsthand.
Teofimo Lopez is not giving Crawford much hope in this fight at all. According to Lopez, Canelo is simply too big, too powerful, and carries far too much experience at the higher weight classes. Lopez believes that at some point during the fight, Canelo will land that one significant punch that ends everything by knockout.
What round does Crawford get knocked out? I'm gonna put 8. Let's put it on the universe. So I'm gonna put it on 8. 8. And if it goes the other way, I 8. You know, I 8. So yeah, Ryan, Joe, and Eddie Reynoso also. That'll be cool, man. We all get work. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have our own underground boxing, me and Ryan, before we fight.
Ryan Garcia shares a very similar view to Teofimo Lopez, feeling that Canelo's size and physical dominance will prove too much for Crawford to manage. Garcia respects everything Crawford brings to the table technically, but does not believe he possesses the physicality required to handle a fighter of Canelo's caliber and size at 168 pounds.
That's going to be a great fight, too. I can't believe they made that happen. So, yeah, Turkey's been making a lot of great fights happen. You can't really hate on it. But I'm excited for that. I know Canelo, he's so big, so strong, and I think he'll be just too big. I mean, weight classes matter for a reason.
Last question, Ali. He said Teofimo and Boots are going to be on your October undercard.
Oh, yeah,
and
I
the
heard
winners
that.
would fight each other. Is that what you were told?
I didn't know that, but I'm
What do you
down.
think of that?
I don't care. Yeah, let's do it. I wanted to fight Teofimo too.
Last one, I gotta do this. I agree with you that there's just like there's a lot of sanctioning bodies, there's a lot of promoters, there should be more testing organizations, not just one. Tell me about that. Why are you so adamant about Novada?
I think that when a coach is pushing a certain organization, it just strikes me off weird. And for it to be like a mandatory thing, like why can't I use another organization, you know? But again, I don't want to talk about them because, you know, it might sue them.
Veteran trainer Joe Diaz is blunt and straightforward in his assessment. He does not believe Crawford has any realistic chance of beating Canelo. Diaz acknowledges Crawford as a great fighter, but insists there is nothing in his arsenal that will trouble Alvarez in this specific matchup. The size gap combined with Canelo's raw power will simply be too overwhelming to overcome.
A lot of people that say that Crawford can beat Canelo, no problem. I mean, I respect that, but I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. I mean, you saw Canelo Alvarez fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford moved from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov? Nothing. A lot. Okay, Madrimov was a 54-pounder. Now, to move up to 168, that's 2 more divisions. Canelo Alvarez will take any punch from Crawford, but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G, the heaviest hitter in that division. And Canelo took those shots like a champ. I don't think Crawford has anything to beat Canelo.
Promoter Eddie Hearn also carries reservations surrounding this fight. While he recognizes Crawford as an elite-level operator, he argues the weight gap is simply too significant to ignore. Hearn also makes the point that even if Canelo defeats Crawford at 168 pounds, he should not receive enormous credit for it, given that he would essentially be beating a naturally smaller man who began his career at 140 pounds.
How is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
Yeah, I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement. If you're Terence Crawford in that fight, the last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course, that's the way to beat him.
Yeah.
You know.
Conor Benn takes a more balanced view on how this fight could unfold. He genuinely believes both men have an equal shot at winning and sees it as a true 50-50 contest where anything is possible. While many lean toward Canelo because of his physical advantages, Ben feels Crawford's ring intelligence and technical skill could make this an extremely even and competitive fight.
With Crawford going up, I believe he can put a beating on anybody 154
160.
But not 68.
Nah, Benavidez is.
Canelo. Yeah.
Canelo. I think he's a smart fighter. He doesn't rely on his power. Crawford ain't a fighter who just relies on his power. And then Canelo, when he's fought Belenga, then fought Ryder, Munguia. It's even. I think it'd be a 50-50 fight if Crawford fought Canelo.
Shakur Stevenson is firmly in Crawford's corner on this one. He believes skills pay the bills, and in his eyes, Crawford is clearly the more gifted fighter in that department. Stevenson also pushes back against the notion that Crawford is too small, arguing that he is bigger and stronger than most people are giving him credit for.
I think skills pay the bills.
Yeah.
And I feel like, truthfully, he's not as little as people think. Like, people think he's, like, very small.
He cut weight to get to 147, 154.
Yes. Yeah. He's not as small as, like, people think. It's just he look like it.
Yeah.
So, like, if you see him in
person,
and he get on a scale or something, you wouldn't believe that's his weight.
I told somebody the other day, he might get on the scale weighing like 166, 167 fighting Canelo, and people wouldn't believe how ripped up and cut up he'll still look. He won't look like he's overweight Terence Crawford. He gonna look like a solid Terence Crawford.
I think he beat Canelo though. I've been saying. I remember when he fought when they fought. Go watch an interview after the fight. I literally said I think Terence Crawford would beat Canelo.
Okay, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, long time ago.
Yeah.
No cap.
I did tell him after the Spence fight. I said, "Man, go get Canelo. You the greatest.
Yeah,
this era
for sure.
Yeah, it's no question.
No question. Yes."
Actually, back to the you and Terence working together, because you've shared everything you've learned from him. There was fans doing their homework in the Avanesian fight and in the Spence fight, saying actually it looks like Terence may have taken a couple things from Shakur as well, not just Shakur taking things from Terence.
Jeff Mayweather is another respected boxing voice who holds Crawford's skills in high regard. He views Crawford as the superior fighter technically, but issues a clear caution that nobody can afford to take Canelo Alvarez lightly under any circumstances.
It's kind of tough, but if anybody can do it, I think it would be Terence Crawford. I mean, skill-wise, I give him, I think he's a better fighter than Canelo, but Canelo is also a great fighter but he owns that weight class that he's in. So I would just say that I think that Crawford has to fight almost a perfect fight to win, and take advantage of Canelo's mistakes.
Yeah, so we have, is it almost kind of a battle of, we have two guys, obviously the best, two of the best 3 or 4 boxers in the sport, regardless of weight class, but, which one is closer to the version of their prime, right? They're both getting older. I mean, they're both still, very, very good at this point, but, do you think maybe one of them it's time for them to start falling off, and that might be the difference in this fight, that one starts to trail off a little bit?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, both guys are aging. And you never know. You never know when they're going to show their age. So it could be either one of them that does that. But I mean, I just lean toward Crawford because I just see the dude has so many skills. And I mean, I just see that him possibly winning the fight by decision.
Trainer Stephen Bradman Edwards firmly believes Crawford can beat Canelo by leaning on his superior movement, reach, and stamina throughout the fight. He stresses that Crawford's capacity to box effectively on the move, combined with his mental toughness, will be the critical ingredients in handling Canelo's relentless pressure over 12 rounds.
Catches, he slips, he's really good. But Crawford is just so clutch. His conditioning is so good. They're going to be about similar heights. Crawford's a little taller. He's longer. And I think that Crawford's adjustments in fights are so underrated. He is a master adjuster. He finds something in every fight and just goes with it. That last fight, people talk about he struggled. You know what he found that last fight? A simple jab. He just started beating the guy up with a jab. He finds something in every fight. And he don't fight a lazy fight.
Legendary trainer Teddy Atlas is picking Crawford with full confidence. In Atlas's view, Crawford is simply too skilled, too intelligent, and too well prepared to lose this fight. He believes Crawford's ability to make mid-fight adjustments and his overall ring IQ will carry him to victory. For Atlas, this comes down to skill, not size, and he is completely convinced Crawford has everything needed to get the job done.
Not official, but it may be a done deal. Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez. Early thoughts? What do you think?
Yeah, look, the first thought is, can he handle the weight jump? Can he handle the weight jump? He being Crawford against Madridov, people are going to say, "Oh, he had some hiccups." Who don't have hiccups? When you eat something that's a little difficult to eat, and Madrimov was a little difficult to eat. He's not easy to digest. He's a good fighter. When you eat something that's a little tough to digest, you get hiccups, right? So come on, he's human. So he had a few hiccups. He won the fight. He's Terence Crawford. A lot of people say, "Oh, Teddy, you make him so good. You're always saying how great Crawford is." But who's he beating? He unified the. What was his first division? Lightweight. Then he unified the junior. Then he unified the junior welter. Then he unified the welter. I think I got the weight classes right. It doesn't matter.
Sports analyst Ariel Helwani raised an interesting angle in discussion with his host, noting that Canelo is aging and real questions exist about whether his legs still carry the same strength they once did. Meanwhile, Crawford is a skilled switch hitter who looked very sharp in his first outing at 154 pounds. Helwani believes Crawford is growing increasingly comfortable at the bigger weight and has been building toward a challenge of this magnitude for a long time, suggesting his elite boxing IQ could make this a genuinely competitive fight.
Crawford, switch hitter. He did all right in his first fight at 54, but now he'll get more comfortable as a bigger guy. He's actually not that small, this, that, and the other. Yesterday on my program, Ade, I spoke to David Benavidez, and I asked him about this fight, and his response surprised me. I want to play this clip for you and get your response to David's answer. Here it is.
It's a good fight for both of them. Good fight for, I think it's more important for Crawford than anybody, but I think if anybody could beat Canelo, I think Crawford could.
Yeah, I know you said he could be the guy. What kind of a chance do you ultimately give him?
I think you give him like a 7 out of a 10.
Oh, wow, that high. I thought you were going to say 25 just because of the size.
Good. Crawford is good. And
of course.
I think he's been known that he's going to fight Canelo for a long, long time. And, Crawford, he likes to pick up the weight. So I'm sure he's been working on the weights for a long, long time. So
that is all for today's video. Stay tuned until next time